down for a meal and conversation. All are invited to the table to hear the message of inspiration and hope from small business owners across the country as we celebrate diversity in culture and cuisine. Welcome to Food Coma, Conversations Over Meals in America, hosted by Cynthia McAllister.
Welcome back to another episode of Food Coma, Conversations Over Meals in America. And I'm your host, Cynthia McAllister, and I'm here with my lovely guest, Miss Lillian. Lillian, I'm so excited to have you and have you share your business, Duchess Rideshare. Now, as you all know, before we get into all this discussion about businesses, we also like to talk about the food. And we have this wonderful dish here, and it's called jollof rice. Okay, this is the first time I've ever had jollof rice, and I'm telling you, it's so good. So when I tasted it, it was like you get a kick. It's definitely something very seasoned and fresh. And I love the tomatoes. There's lots of tomatoes in here. But I'm going to let Lillian describe the dish for you. So Lillian, why did you bring this dish and what does it mean to you?
Dan, thank you so much for having me. So I am Nigerian. My family's Nigerian, and I've grown up with this particular rice my entire life. It is everything in Nigeria. It's a comfort food. It's fancy in a lot of restaurants. It can be made, zhuzhed up and dressed up, or just very basic staple in every home. But this particular rice is just one of those things that, your parents would just throw together on, any given day to feed the family, because you can make large quantities of it and it stores very well for a long time. So it's a very big staple in Nigeria, and there's some, debate about whose jollof is best between Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, but it's Nigerian.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever's house you're at eating it, you're gonna say theirs is the best. So that's probably what you're gonna end up doing. But I'm telling you, when I tried this dish, it seemed so authentic, and I love the flavor mixtures. I mean, all the seasonings that was put into it and the time that it took to make sure everything was sauteed and flavored just right. I thought that was really great and authentic about it. So thank you for introducing us to the jollof rice. I really appreciate it. So now let's go get into your business. Now, you are the business owner of Duchess Rideshare. Please tell us, what is Duchess Rideshare all about and how did you get started?
So Duchess Rideshare is a women's rideshare service. It is women passengers, women drivers in safe, monitored vehicles. I am not unique in that I've had a pretty rough experience, a pretty rough go of taking Uber sometimes, especially during particular times of day or in particular areas. I've always had, just that in the back of my mind whenever I get into a cab. I have some horror stories, but the catalyst for this was really when I had a procedure done in 2019, and leaving the hospital, they advised me that I couldn't take a cab home. And I, just kind of shrugged it off and didn't think anything of it. And then I had a follow-up procedure the following, 6 months later, at a different facility, and they too told me that I could not take a cab home. And, I finally asked, why do all the hospitals tell you that you can't leave in a cab? And the nurse just was very blunt and said that because of the probability that you're going to be assaulted on your way home. So they had to literally go and lobby Congress to pass a law that protects the hospital, because what was happening was they were also getting sued by the victims of the assaults. So they had to lobby Congress, pass a law that didn't let women leave hospitals under any kind of anesthesia or even common medication, because of that likelihood that they would be attacked. It's a liability on the hospital. So once my shock subsided, anger set in. I was extremely angry at learning that we have rights taken away like that because people can't control themselves. And these companies, these traditional rideshare companies that we all know, don't mitigate the risk enough. They hire pretty much anybody. There's no mitigation. There's just, it is what it is. You're rolling the dice every time you get into a vehicle with a man. So I created Duchess Rideshare for women to have a safe space to take transportation in the public and not feel threatened by either the driver or the other passengers that get into the car if you're sharing a ride. Because I have one of those ride sharing experiences too, actually, where the other passengers were the issue and not the driver.
Wow. Well, I applaud you for seeing a problem and coming up with a solution. I mean, especially, this is an issue that a lot of people probably don't even realize. You know, the fact that there are women at high risk of being assaulted just because they have medication and coming off of anesthesia and having to take alternative ways to get home because they can't drive themselves. So I applaud you for that and keeping people's safety in the forefront. So how long have you had Duchess Rideshare?
We became fully incorporated in August of 2020, but we had all kinds of, the thing that took a while was to build the mobile application that's now available on App Store and Google Play. So that took several months, and we officially launched in January of 2021.
Wow, congratulations. And it looks like you're in Vegas. So is that currently your hub right now?
Yes, so we're currently localized to only Las Vegas, but working really hard to try and get this expansion going, especially into other densely populated cities and travel destination cities like LA and San Francisco. And our goal is to ultimately be worldwide, because this is not a phenomena that's specific to one area. Women are under threat of this type of attack in a cab anywhere, everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. So, it's really a tough road when you decide to become a business owner. Share why it is that you felt the passion to take this step and become a business owner.
Well, in addition to wanting to help my cohorts out there just feel a little bit safer, one less thing to worry about, I also don't want to work for the rest of my life. I'd like to retire earlier rather than later and just concentrate 100% on the social effort here, because Duchess Rideshare, our plan is not just to provide the service, but also be involved in the community as much as possible. So I want to focus on that versus my 9-to-5, which, I don't have any negative things to say about working a 9-to-5. It's really the backbone of society. But for a person like myself, I just want to dedicate my time to Duchess 100%. So that's the driving force between wanting to start this business. Well, that's the secondary force actually behind starting this business and continuing with it and working so hard to get it out there.
Wow, Lillian, I love your story and your mission. We're going to hear more from Lillian when we come back with Food Coma Conversations over Meals in America. And we're back with more of Food Coma Conversations over Meals in America, sponsored by Keyspot by Quality SAP, and I'm your host, Cynthia McAllister. I'm here with Lillian, owner of Duchess Rideshare, and we were talking about her fantastic mission and her business to help provide the great transportation for women all across the globe using her Duchess Rideshare service. Now, Lillian, I'd like to understand, as a business owner, you have lots of challenges that come your way. Can you share a testimony of how you've overcome those challenges and what's given you that faith to get there?
Well, first and foremost, I was raised Catholic, so my faith is a pretty significant part of overcoming anything in life in general. But applied to business, you really have to just remember who you are. And from that, I draw the ability to kind of overcome whatever happens. So there's an African proverb that says, how do you eat an elephant? And the answer is one bite at a time. So anything that seems insurmountable, when you can break it down into manageable pieces and tackle each piece one at a time, it doesn't seem like everything is piling up on you all at once. So that's how I kind of go about my day-to-day life. Everything that seems like it's so much to do or the task is so monumental, I just say, okay, what can be done quickly? What can be done today? What can be done now? In my day life, in my regular 9 to 5, I'm an engineer. I'm a data scientist, I'm an engineer, and a project manager. So time management and breaking down work is something I've been doing in my career for the last, 12 years. So managing and compartmentalizing each piece of something makes the task itself as a whole more manageable. And that's pretty much how I do it every single day with everything, not just business.
Yeah. And I love what you mentioned as far as, taking things one step at a time. One chunk at a time is how you tackle an elephant, okay? You don't have to do everything at once. There's a process to getting things done and to seeing your goals realized. So I think that's a wonderful proverb. Now, you are also a Keyspot business partner, and we are so thrilled to have you part of our network. Tell us how Keyspot has supported your business.
Well, Keyspot is a really great app for discovery. So I've used Keyspot to discover some local individuals who I want to reach out to as far as partnering with in our community to get something going, to get a program going. I love that it has focus on women and minority-owned businesses, because I would really like to have a coalition of us in Las Vegas in addition to the chamber, because not everybody can really be in the chamber or have that chamber support. So I think that Keyspot has been really instrumental in finding these businesses, because you don't always see them listed. And if you Google something, there's a lot of SEO involved. So if you're not hitting SEO, you're not getting the top billings. I mean, you're in page 12 or 13, no one's really going to find your business. So Keyspot kind of pulls those small businesses to the forefront, and it's been really helpful.
Wow, well, that's great. So another thing that I'd like to mention about Miss Lillian here, she is also the owner of The People's Duchess Instagram account. Okay, now who knows who The People's Duchess is? Meghan Markle, that's who. Lillian, can you tell us a little bit about what made you decide to get started on this Instagram account? And I know you have thousands and thousands of people who are following you on this Instagram account. I'd like to hear more about how you got started.
Yeah, so Megan is actually the Duchess in Duchess Rideshare. And I model my business after her because of her integrity, her display of empathy, and her activism and humanitarianism. And that's what Duchess Rideshare is all about. So when it came time to name the business and model the business's mission statement and goals, it seemed like a no-brainer. I've had the People's Duchess account since the wedding. So again, being Nigerian, we were colonized by Britain until 1962. So very recently, so a lot of the influence in Nigeria is British, the British school system, the fact that we drink tea day and night, everything is modeled after Britain. So the royal family is big in Nigeria. They're a big, huge, massive, Nigeria is still part of the Commonwealth of the United Kingdom. So, I've always followed the Queen because my mom did. I've always followed the royal family. I've always known about them because of my mom and my aunts, who were obsessed with them back in their days when they were at the height of their popularity. So I've naturally just been obsessed with William and Harry since I was, young, and they were hot young princes. And then when Meghan came into the picture, I was dumbfounded. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know who she was. I'd never heard of her, but being obsessed with Prince Harry the way I was so happy to see that diversity finally, get in to the spaces that I have admired all my life.
you're also spreading the mission of diversity and celebrating that. And that's what we like to do here with Food Coma, bringing on guests from all different backgrounds and showcasing what they have, along with celebrating the diversity of people and cultures and cuisine. So I think it's fantastic. Thank you, Lillian, and we'll be back with more of Food Coma, Conversations Over Meals in America.
We were looking for some place we'd never been before, so I used the Keyspot app and found Shell's Bistro. Patricia!
This bistro is great. How did you find it?
I used the Keyspot app. Enter location and it finds businesses and events. Oh, here. See?
I love that. All the information in one key spot.
KeySpot, find and share businesses, find and share services and events, all in one key spot. Download for free today.
And we're back with more of Food Coma, Conversations Over Meals in America. And I'm here with Lillian, owner of Duchess Rideshare. Now, Lillian, I'd like to ask the question. I know you mentioned Meghan Markle, but who are two people in business that inspire you and why?
Do they have to be business owners?
No, they don't have to be. Who are just two people that you look up to and you get inspiration from?
Okay, so first and foremost, my mother. She's phenomenal. I have never seen anything, and I know we all say, oh, your mom or whatever, but honestly, my mom is the most hardworking, phenomenal woman I have ever met in my entire life. She's a nurse. She works at Wasco State Prison. She's, this fiery African lady, but she's very kind, and she doesn't take any stuff, but she's extremely kind and open, and she has just taught me everything I know about how to be a woman and how to navigate the space and the intersection between Black and women in America. Because she came out here, my parents emigrated out here when they were teenagers, and their English was really poor, and they just, not poor, but they had thick accents and everything. So they overcame so much, and I don't even want to think about the sentiment, the foreigner sentiment back when they came here in the 80s. So, I look up to my mom. And then also the second person, there's a couple of people that I look up to, secondly. So obviously Meghan Markle, but I really do look up to like Beyonce, Serena Williams, Melinda Gates, people who have faced adversity their whole lives. And you would think that just because they are wealthy and they married wealthy means they've had it easy. But I've read the biographies on each of these women, and it's like, no, particularly Venus and Serena, because everyone knows that backstory. But what we don't know is how they felt when they went home at night. And I watched a documentary about that, and Serena Williams was kind of just talking about how she would get really, really depressed because, obviously colorism and everything else, the way that the media treated her was just so bad back in the day. It still is kind of pretty bad, but they've tapered it out. But yeah, so there's three women on my top up there next to Meghan. And Beyonce, obviously we all know her story, but the work ethic and the dedication behind the things that she pulls off, her tours and her albums and her, juggling all that with motherhood and everything else. I'm just looking at her like she's a superwoman of some kind. She's like the real Captain America to me. Like if anybody's Captain America, it's Beyonce, because she's earned everything from the ground up. And then Melinda Gates is, for obvious reasons. I mean, her philanthropy knows no bounds, and she's just really strong. And, she's going through this very public separation with Bill and handling it with a lot of grace and class and dignity. I think it would be very easy to do the opposite, but she is choosing peace. So I'm appreciative of that, and I hope to see them continuing to co-chair their foundation and do all the wonderful things they've done for society with that.
Yes. Boy, you named a lot of great women, and that's wonderful to hear, and the range that they've all had. All of them very successful, all of them very smart and accomplished and doing great things in the community. So I see how your mission and their mission, you never know what might happen in the future. And that leads me to my next question. Where do you see yourself and your business in the future? Where do you want to go?
Worldwide. I would love to take Duchess to Nigeria, where unfortunately kidnapping is still a thing. You know, it's still a very currently done, commonly done thing for young women to go missing and be kidnapped and sold off to whomever for whatever purposes. So their opportunity lies when they take cabs. The cab drivers are in on a lot of that. So I would really love to take Duchess to some of the more underserved nations and the more, you know, I don't like to use the term third world because I think that's pretty rude, but underdeveloped nations, and make sure that every woman everywhere has a safe passage to wherever the heck it is that she feels like going or coming home from, whether it's the club at 2 a.m., half naked, drunk, whatever the case might be. It's just no excuse for being assaulted on your way home, just trying to get home. So I see Duchess going as international as possible, helping as many women as possible. And hopefully, well, not even hopefully, but on our trajectory, we will be able to set up a fund and a foundation as well to help women that have experienced domestic violence and trauma, and get them help and therapy and mental health counseling and things like that. So I really want to emphasize the social aspect of Duchess Rideshare in the next 5 years after we've kind of laid the foundation for just the traditional transportation part of it.
Wow. Well, you know what? With your mission and your passion and the support that you have from Keyspot, I see that this is going to happen for you. I see that you're going to meet your goals and be all across the country and the world. So, one other question I want to ask you, what are some words of wisdom you have for other people in business or looking to start a business?
Do the work. Don't take shortcuts. Don't, it's, the popular thing right now is get these results in 2 weeks, get these results in 30 days, get those results in 24 hours. It's like, bro, that sounds good, but I can tell you from experience, from the guess and check of it all, that a quick, anything that is easy is not good. And if it, and if it's just like easily acquired, it's not going to be as good. So just put in the work. Don't be afraid to work. Work is not going to kill you. In fact, it's going to build that character. And once you've gone through what you need to go through, you'll understand all the facets of your business. So don't outsource any of the work that you could do, because it's easier to do it, yes, but having the lack of understanding because you've taken the shortcut or outsourced the work to someone else is going to affect you as the owner in the long run. So that's pretty much my only advice. You have to do the work. There's just no way around that. If you want to be successful, you have to do the work. Get up in the morning, grind, do it every single day. Don't miss any days. And, along the way, treat people with integrity, because you just never really know who's going to come back to be the biggest asset to your business.
That is so true. That is so true. Treat people kindly, no matter what station in life they're in, because you never know who's going to be what in the future and who's going to remember how you treated them. So that is such great advice. Making sure that you work every day, take things one chunk at a time and treat people with kindness along the way. I mean, what more advice can you offer someone? That is fantastic. Now, we talked about how you are a Keyspot business partner and we're helping to put you out there and support your business, and you shared your experience. Why would you recommend other people in business becoming Keyspot business partners as well and joining our network?
Well, because networking is essential. It's a critical element of success in any business. Scaling is a critical element of success in any business. Anyone can start a business, anyone can have a business, but a lot of businesses fail when the fire kind of dwindles or dies out. So networking fans the flames, right? Networking, growing your network, growing your base, growing the number of people who have heard your name, heard your business's name, is really what keeps that fire burning. So having something like KeySpot on your side, in your corner, is a really good tool, because not everyone is just going to be, going through page after page after page of Google to find you. If you don't pop up first, second, or third, or fourth in that Google search, you're likely just not going to be found. So KeySpot is an additional tool that people can use to quickly find Black-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, local businesses, all kinds of things that they would be specifically looking for that Google wouldn't necessarily be able to facilitate finding, because it's all about numbers and SEO on that platform. So I definitely recommend KeySpot if you're looking to scale and grow your business. There's just nothing like having that personalized attention to your business, your small business, so that you can grow. KeySpot helps you, not just network, but your social media access, your social media platform, that kind of thing is really, really, really helpful.
Well, thank you so much, Lillian. Appreciate the kind words. So we have had a great discussion here with Lillian, owner of Duchess Rideshare, and we love her mission and her passion, and we want everybody to go out there and support her. Check out her information, which we will also be sharing, and tune in again for another episode of Food Coma, Conversations Over Meals in America. I'm your host, Cynthia McAllister. See you next time.